Once upon a time, in a magical kingdom called Empathia, there lived a kind and gentle king named Empathus. King Empathus ruled over his kingdom with love and compassion, always making sure that his people were happy and well taken care of. One day, a terrible storm swept through Empathia, destroying homes and leaving many of the king's subjects homeless and without food or water. King Empathus knew that he had to act fast to help his people, so he gathered his most trusted advisors and set out to find a solution. The king and his advisors traveled throughout the kingdom, talking to the people and listening to their stories of loss and hardship. They heard tales of families who had lost everything, of children who were afraid and alone, and of elderly citizens who had nowhere to go. King Empathus felt a deep sadness in his heart as he listened to these stories, and he knew that he had to do something to help. He decided to send out teams of helpers to provide food and shelter to those in need, and to rebuild the homes that had been destroyed by the storm. As the days passed, the king and his advisors worked tirelessly to help their people, and soon the kingdom was beginning to recover. But King Empathus knew that this was not enough. He wanted to do something to help the people of Empathia not just recover from the storm, but to thrive and flourish in the future. So, King Empathus decided to build a school in the kingdom, where children could learn about empathy and kindness, and how to help others. He knew that if the children of Empathia learned these lessons, they would grow up to be kind and compassionate adults, and the kingdom would always be a place of love and hope. The school was built and soon children from all over the kingdom came to learn about empathy and kindness. They learned about the importance of listening to others, of understanding their feelings, and of helping those in need. The children of Empathia soon began to put their newfound knowledge into practice, and the kingdom began to change. People started helping one another, and the kingdom became a place where everyone was cared for and loved. King Empathus was overjoyed to see the changes in his kingdom, and he knew that the school he had built was making a real difference. He was proud of the children of Empathia, who were growing up to be kind and compassionate adults, just like him. And so, the kingdom of Empathia continued to thrive and flourish, and the people of Empathia lived happily ever after, knowing that they were part of a community that truly cared for one another. As the children grew older and graduated from the school, they began to spread their knowledge and understanding of empathy throughout the kingdom. They started volunteering in their communities, helping those in need, and spreading kindness wherever they went. One of the graduates, a young girl named Isabella, decided to take her compassion a step further. She set out on a journey to visit the neighboring kingdoms and see how they were faring. She found that many of the neighboring kingdoms were suffering from similar issues as Empathia, such as poverty and lack of resources. Isabella knew that she couldn't stand idly by and watch others suffer, so she rallied her friends and classmates to help her bring aid to the neighboring kingdoms. Together, they organized food and clothing drives, and even set up a temporary shelter for those who were homeless. Word of their kindness spread quickly, and soon other kingdoms began to take notice of the compassionate actions of the people of Empathia. They sent emissaries to ask for advice and assistance, and King Empathus was more than happy to oblige. The kingdom of Empathia became known as a beacon of hope and compassion in the land, and people from all over came to visit and learn about their ways. King Empathus was proud of his people and the impact they were having on the world. But the king knew that their work was never done. There would always be those in need, and it was their duty to continue to help and care for others. So, he continued to spread the message of empathy and kindness, and to lead by example. Years passed, and the kingdom of Empathia continued to flourish. The school that King Empathus had built became famous throughout the land, and people came from far and wide to learn about empathy and kindness. And as the years went by, the people of Empathia continued to spread their compassion and understanding to others, creating a ripple effect of love and kindness throughout the land. And the kingdom of Empathia lived happily ever after, knowing that they had made a positive impact on the world, and that they would continue to do so for generations to come. The end.